Are you guys excited?
I'm excited.
I'm excited. But why are we excited today?
We are excited because we are going to be breaking ground for our new home to be delivered.
That's right. Today's video will cover the grading of our house pad and the digging of our footers. This is going to span multiple days worth of work, but you don't have to wait multiple days because you get to see it in one video.
Let's go.
It's Saturday, and today, I hope, is the day that grading takes place. Yesterday, the dirt got dropped off. A little bit of short clip there. Nothing amazing, no video production magic there, but it's here, and hopefully that means the grader will be here very soon as well. Alright, so they just started working. The first step that he did was to pretty much measure and find out where the new home is going to go in relation to the water line, which we marked in blue, and the septic pump line, which we marked in that dotted orange line the other day. After he had those located and found where the house will go, he then put some rebar stakes in the ground, pulled some measurements, and got the size of the house pad as a last check to make sure he was good. After that, he hopped on his Kubota. This looks like an SVL model 97-2. It is a very nice skid steer, tracked skid steer with a smooth bucket on the front. And then it looks like in his trailer, he has an excavator bucket as well. Although I don't know if that is going to attach to this machine or not for digging the footings. Either way, he started by removing the topsoil and has been working on getting the house pad down to grade. Whenever he first came out here to look at the site about a month and a half ago at this point, he said that what he wants to do, especially because we are doing a block foundation wall or perimeter wall, he wants to bring all the house pad down to the same level. He doesn't want us having a stair-stepped foundation for our perimeter wall, and he wants a flat house pad, of course, with a crown for drainage, which is required. That was great news to us because we are paying for the larger block foundation wall so that we can then waterproof it and backfill it and make our home look, well, less like a manufactured home. Hopefully our final grade will be a lot lower down, or it will look like the house is sitting lower, and that'll give us a good appearance. We did the same thing with our single wide home that's sitting here. We got as thick of a block as we could within reason. I don't think we did 8-inch. I think we maybe did like a 6-inch, but we backfilled that the same way. Loved doing it, and so of course we wanted to do it again with this home. I think all in all, he's been out here working for about an hour and a half, maybe that much, somewhere around there, and honestly is getting a lot done. It is basically a two-man crew. You have obviously the skid steer driver, he's the main grader guy, but then you have the other guy walking around with the transit level, telling him to go up or down with the grade to make sure everything stays on that nice level plane. He was generous enough to move our gravel that needed to be moved over instead of just mixing it up with the other waste dirt, and has been doing really good as far as keeping piles and just doing what he does, right? He's the professional. He's done this a lot. And so it's great to just sit back and watch someone else do the work, enjoy the skill set behind running the equipment, and just also really have fun seeing our house finally take shape.
$26. $34. And 39 6 inches. Is that it on input? Yep, 39 foot 6 inches. $26. $34. $58.
Well, they just left. It is about 2.5 hours of work. I think they did really well. It looks nice and smooth, and there's a lot of dirt left over, but that will be really good for backfilling once the house is in place and everything. It was really neat and kind of nice to watch them do all the measuring and everything, because most of the time it's us that has to do that, and we didn't have to do that this time. So it was kind of really nice to watch somebody else. The size looks huge compared to what we have right now and the pad that we had for our current house. So that's going to be such a big difference, is to have a huge house. The placement, it looks really good. We will still have a wonderfully big front yard and away from the road, and then have a bigger backyard than we were used to.
Well, as far as things go to show and tell and talk about, this is a pretty straightforward process. He just has his excavator with its bucket on it, and he's just digging the footing holes right where he put his marks yesterday. One thing that's different that this guy is using compared to the one who did our single wide setup is he's using a mini X, or I guess a regular excavator, for digging with a bucket. The people who set up our single wide had an auger bit on the front of their skid steer, and they dug the footings that way. I don't really think there's a difference. Maybe personal preference is probably what it boils down to, or using the equipment you already have. But as long as you've got the depth that you need and the diameter or size you need to make sure everything's fine, that's really all that matters. Concrete is usually concrete, and it doesn't care if it's in a cylindrical hole or a square-ish one. It's just there to hold stuff above it. So while he's over there working, let me show you what I was doing over here in the background. You may have seen some clips of it earlier in the video. I was taking the extra gravel that he removed from our driveway near the house pad. He kind of piled it up for us. I was moving it over here with the tractor and spreading it out in front of my workshop, but also right here at the RV, which is in a new location from the last video, because this is the location that it's going to be while we live in it as we move out of one house and wait for the new one. As far as gravel goes, this is pretty, it's got a lot of dirt in it, a lot of grass clumps, so I definitely didn't want to try and spread it on our driveway, but it's going to work great for this area, very utilitarian spot, and also just having gravel right here where we previously did not is going to be really good for whenever we need to come in and out of the RV while we're living there. Clearly you can tell that all I did was dump it with the bucket. I put a whole bunch on top of the steps, but I'll brush that off here in a little bit, and I'll also get the rake out and smooth it around as well. Just wanted to show you a little bit of what I was doing over here, and then also kind of show you where we'll be calling, I guess, mobile home, mobile HQ. This will be our view as we live in the RV, which probably is going to happen sooner than we expected. Well guys, honestly, that was really easy for him to do. It didn't take him but a couple of hours at most, and we've got ourselves a bunch of holes in the ground. Now he's left his mini X here, which I kind of get a kick out of. He called that his mini X, so it really makes me wonder about me calling our excavator a mini. It might be more of a micro machine. Regardless, he's left it here because tomorrow is concrete day. He's going to call and hopefully get it scheduled, and then also before the concrete truck arrives, he has to dig our perimeter footing. We are doing block foundation under our home, or the block wall, just like we have with our single wide, and he's got to dig the whole perimeter and have it ready for concrete as well. He didn't do that today because he was running and gunning solo, and he needs his helper to run the transit and make sure everything is just right on grade. So that's fine with me. I would rather him take 2 days and get the project done right and good than try and rush it one day and it not be that good. There's definitely one thing to pass along if you're looking to do this journey and this is your first rodeo as far as any kind of construction or working with subcontractors. Be patient. Stuff takes time. These people are out here working not only on your project, but probably also several others. At least you hope so, because in my mind, if the person's busy, it means they're good. If they're not busy, it makes me wonder if I should use them. So just remember to try and be patient. Show some love to your contractors if you can. I mean, yes, you're paying them to do the job and all that stuff, but just keep in mind, these are people just out here trying to people along in this world, and a little kindness goes a long way. Welcome back to day number 3 of the house pad project. The grader just got out here a few minutes ago. He has his skid steer unloaded and is working on moving all the dirt piles that's around the place over to one big giant mega pile. It's going to be impossible to keep the boys off this dirt pile, but that's okay. I think they're good to play on this one for a while. After he gets the dirt piles moved, he's going to then work on digging the perimeter footing for the home. This is the footing that goes in the ground that'll get poured with concrete that our block wall for the perimeter wall will rest upon. After that, my fingers are crossed, and I'm hopeful that he will also be able to line up concrete delivery for today as well. That would be amazing. So, hopefully that takes place. I thought you guys may also like to see how it looks from inside the house. Interesting perspective. Very different front yard layout right now, but really, really cool at the same time. Well, how good does it feel to have a house site?
It feels good. We actually broke ground and got to see something happening.
It feels legit. Now, throughout the course of this project, it did take, I think, about 3 to 4 work days. If you have a keen sense of vision, you may have noticed something changed with our old house. If so, leave us a comment down below telling us what you noticed change. If not, don't worry, there's going to be a video right after this one that will cover what exactly it was. It's just a whole separate subject and a pretty fun story to share that we wanted to make it its own video, and I guess it'll also kind of be out of order.
With that being said, thank you for coming along. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.